10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good morning, all. It's 8 minutes after 5 a.m. Friday, 27th day of October, 2017. Boy, this year has gone fast. You're listening to Brian's podcast live from San Antonio, Texas, along with my lovely sidekick, the friend to beat all friends, Diane, over in High Ridge, Missouri. Of course, you know about St. Louis. I'm sure you traveled there or been there or visited there or maybe even lived there. Who knows? Wherever you're at in the United States, I hope all is well. I do believe that today is Friday like everybody was hoping for yesterday, but it's today. It's the last day. It starts the weekend. I hope everybody has a great, safe weekend. Don't forget Halloween is coming up, the 31st. Yes, the 31st. Kids dressing up, knocking on your door, ringing your doorbell. You know, that's the only time I know of that kids get to go door to door and panhandle. I mean, ask for things. But anyway, that's all in fun though. They know. We know better. It's just kids will be children. You know how that is. They're young. They grow out of it. They grow up. See, bad part about it is, I'm still a child. I'm just caught in an adult body. That's the scary part. Sometimes. Then there's my humor that, I won't tell you what some people have told me that I am, because it would not be very polite, but if you really must know, a lot of people don't know how to take me. Hell, I don't know how to take me half the time. And I live in me. That's pretty sad. You know, it's going to be colder today. It's only going to be 65 degrees. And there's going to be wind and gusts of wind. It's going to feel even colder than it was. It is. Don't let that sun being out there shining fool you. It's still going to be colder than old witch's tit at Christmas time. Or a reasonable facsimile thereof. Well, you know how it is. I like to babble the first part of this, but we are going to listen to a previously recorded podcast that is maybe it's going to be interesting. I don't know how many people like mysteries or how many people like to try and solve things. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that like it, whether they have actual time to do it. But maybe if you sit down and listen to this podcast, maybe you have some time to help figure it out. Who knows? Whatever you guys do, just make time for family. Don't take them for granted. You never know. Life can be short. Of course, it's not up to us. Just remember, life can be short. Mother Nature is cruel. And we get to deal with it. Sounds like fun, doesn't it? Anyway, that's that. I wanted to ask you a question. Now, if you want to answer the question, I would love to hear what you have to say about it. You can do it many ways. You can tune in many ways. You can catch me on many airwaves. You can even catch me on demand if you want. I'd get a big mitt because, like I said, I'm a kid trapped in an adult body, but hey. It's all fun. What the heck? No, it's not all fun, but, hey. Life is, I guess, they tell me life is what you make it. I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I do know one thing, that everybody has choices that they make in life, good or bad, right or wrong. Either way, if you're friends, or your family, or you're in a relationship, try to be understanding and accept them anyway. Because all human beings make mistakes. Fortunately, we're good at pulling our foot out of our mouth after chewing on it and getting filet of sole. Yeah, well, that's another story. How many of you honestly think that Trump, after the first 4 years, will be elected to a second term? Does anybody want to take a wild guess? Anybody want to throw in there? Now, I'm going to tell you what. I know it's early in the morning, so let's do it this way for right now. You can call. I have no problem with people calling. But I know it's early, and some people may not want to be calling this early or may not have time. They're getting ready for work, getting the kids ready for school. Who knows? There's probably a lot going on right now. But later on today, when you're sitting there, you download this podcast, you catch me on demand. However you choose to listen to it, you can catch it on your Android device, your tablet, your computer, wherever. All you gotta do is go to www.speaker.com/user and then fill in the number. And you can tune me in there. We are live on iHeartRadio on Speaker.com. We're also syndicated on the Alexa device at Amazon. We're also on my Facebook page, so you can catch it there too if you so choose. You can just download it and listen to it whenever, or you can get it on demand. Either way, I'm in a lot of places. I'm also on YouTube. I'm also on iTunes. See? I fit right in. I'm on iTunes too. So the voice uses the iTunes also. How many people are watching The Voice this season? How many people have been watching it as much as they can regularly? It's only the 13th season. It's doing well. Don't forget, Kelly Clarkson joins The Voice in season 14 as they've already got four coaches. Well, guess what? They're going to throw a monkey wrench in the middle and make it 5. We're going to welcome Kelly Clarkson to the big red chair next season. Get ready, everybody. It's starting to be like American Idol. They change in and out more often than people change underwear. Nah, they got to do it. They got to keep it interesting. Nobody can do it all the time, except for Blake and Adam. But somebody needs to give Adam dressing lessons because his sweaters leave a lot to be desired. The one he's wearing this season looks like he ripped it off from some old lady on the street, then ran into the studio where she couldn't get to him. Or is it just the color? Maybe it's just the color that bothers me. I don't know. It looked like an olive green. It almost looked like somebody blew their nose on his shirt and missed. Whatever happened, but all I know is I wasn't too crazy about that. Last season he was dressed as a barcode. I don't understand it. You know, this season there's one coach on there that's got all women on their team. All women. The talent's getting better and better each season and younger. Not so much this season, but it was last season. Since they lowered the age, the eligibility on the age, where you could audition for The Voice to see if you could sing, that helps. But they're finding more and more talent. Even the younger ones that come in are even very much gifted in their singing and what they do. But again, I didn't get on here to talk about The Voice either, but you know how it is. Guess who is the new follower of my podcast? I guess because I flap my gums as much as he does. Well, no, I only flap my gums. He has to take his to Twitter. You know, Trump, if you're listening, why don't you come on my show, Trump? Let's talk. Stop trying to do it via Twitter, because I'm not going to Twitter back to you. Sorry, I don't have time to play that. You want to talk to me? You can be on my show. I'd be glad to listen. You'd be glad to answer some questions. You're welcome. Anybody on Trump's staff, if you want to ask questions, Pence, you want to give me an interview? Come on. I'll give you the number. It's 210-850-3764. Anytime. You let me know. You can drop me an email at bdhammond45@gmail.com. I got some pointed questions I'd like to ask you people. So if there's anybody out there If there's any politicians out there that want to come give me politicians' answers or actually sit down and have a real conversation, one-on-one, and anybody that's tuned into our podcast, this is your chance to make it right. Set the record straight, you people. You have one chance to set the record straight. How many of you out there would like to hear me interview one person of importance from Washington, and maybe do it right here live and open up the phone lines and let anybody that wants to call can ask a question. See what kind of answers we can get. Let's see if they're actually going to do something with this presidency, or if they're just going to sit around for 4 years because they think they're on a paid vacation. I would certainly like to know. Wouldn't you? Tell you what, let's get busy and figure out how we can make that happen. Because I'd certainly like to ask a few questions myself. I'm not going to argue about it, but I'd certainly like to ask questions. I'm sure some of you have questions for Mr. Trump, or some member of his cabinet or staff, or whatever you want to call it. Either way, it'd be interesting to hear what they've got to say. What do you think? Let me know. You know how to do it. You know that. Anyway, I am going to take one short little break here, and I'll be back right after this bad news from the club. Thank you guys. Gotta wet the whistle. You know how it is. Gotta wet the whistle once in a while. You know what? We're gonna listen to a previously recorded podcast, and it's a beautiful story about anonymous people that call in on crimes or whatever. Beautiful stories from anonymous people. People that have called in, gave this guy stories on his live on his show, and they agreed to share on his show to everybody listening to that podcast. Well, guess what? I'm going to give you a treat, let you hear it. You know that? Yes, because I'd be interested to hear it too. I thought it was some sort of mystery thing, but I guess it's not, but that's fine. There's no names. There's no given names. They don't use actual names in these because we have to protect the identity of the person. Because some stories can be out there and some stories can be... We don't want them to be embarrassed, and we don't want them to be ostracized from their community either. So, with those privacy acts in place, we're not allowed to reveal true names. So for the sake of this podcast, for the sake of that podcast, I will have to ask you to refrain from talking about it at work or when you go out this weekend, please, because it would create a lot of uncomfortable feelings for the people that shared. They were nice enough to do it. They felt comfortable enough to do it. Let's not do anything to make them regret it, please. Because it will come back, it will come back on me, not you. Because of the way it's set up here at Speaker Studio, and just in general, my personal beliefs. Okay? Maybe I'm just a moron, who knows. But here you go. Right now, we're gonna go ahead and turn on this previously recorded podcast, and we'll get with it right now.
And now, here's your host.
As soon as it plays, come on. They don't want to turn on. Oh no. Really? Come on.